Alright, and today we're going to construct an angle of 90 degrees and a right angle triangle. So, to construct an angle of 90 degrees, what do we have to do? Well, we draw a straight line and mark the point at which you want a right angle at. So, if you don't care where it is, you're just marking any point. And since we don't really care, I'm just going to make my point here. Okay? Because we've actually done all the work to create a right angle before. We just didn't call it that, because really all we're doing is constructing a perpendicular. So, we want to then place our compass over here and place it on the point, right? So we've done this before, and we want to make it an arc equal radius on each side of the line. So now we want to draw with our compass an arc there, and we can just carry it along if you want over to here. Okay, so we've done stuff like this before with the perpendicular. Now this is where we're changing a bit. Here, instead of keeping our compass the same size, we're going to increase the radius. So this is step 3. Increase the radius. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to draw an arc up here. Okay. So the bigger the better. And I'll show you why I'm not actually going to use this in a second. So here, you're going to do the exact same thing, and we're going to draw an arc. Now look how close our point here and our intersection is. I don't really like how close those are, so I'm actually not going to use those arcs. So when you increase your radius, increase it quite a bit, just because it can help with your accuracy. If you forget and you do it, it doesn't matter that much, but just know that you might lose a little bit of accuracy while you're doing it. So I'm trying it with really, really big now, just to show you. So here, did our one, place it on our other line and point, and there. So now look how big that is. So we can now draw from there down to our point and down to our line. And so we have now made two 90-degree angles, technically. And with 90-degree angles, right, we want to indicate with a square little thing. That way we don't have to write our degrees in, because it's kind of a universal little square box means, hey, that's a right angle. Okay? So I'm just going to leave this here for a sec, just so people who want to have the steps can copy them. Right. So here with example 2, we want to construct a right angle triangle with side lengths AB is 4 centimeters, BC is 3 centimeters, and AC is 5 centimeters. Now we've done this triangle before, that's why I reused it, because we're going to do a different method. So we're constructing a 90-degree angle first. So first off, you would think that we're going to use some of those measurements. We're not. So we're just drawing a nice long line that we'll use after. I want to have it longer than my measurements, so I just have my ruler on the screen as a guide at this moment, just to know, hey, okay, it's a lot longer than it. That's what I want right now. Now, what I'm using the ruler now is that I just want to put my point somewhere from the end of this line that's bigger than where we're at. So I'm putting it here on our page. Okay? So at this point, that's just kind of setting ourselves up. And the reason I did that is because, well, I want to make sure that I'm constructing a right angle that's going to line on this line, and then I can use my other point to connect to make a full triangle after. So it's just a little bit of setup, but the plan is still the same way. So at this point, we want to place our compass at that point, and we want to draw a couple arcs, right? So we want to make sure these arcs are going to touch our line in 2 places. If it doesn't, and you try, just erase, go back, extend it a bit more, and try again. Okay? So I can indeed see that mine are going to hit here and here. Next, we're going to move our compass, right? I'm going to turn mine a little bit over, and keep in mind now we want to extend it, right? We're extending our compass so it's bigger. Bigger the better. So I usually choose to go quite big with mine, and then place it on one of our line and arc intersection points. Now we want to then draw one of our arcs up there before moving on to our other intersection point and repeating the process, finding where these two are going to intersect. Right. So for what we have done now, we can draw ourselves from that line through our point. And notice I have my snapping tool, and it does snap right over top of that point. So we know that's actually at 90 degrees. So this is the part. That part you guys have just learned how to do. And then this requires us just using our ruler a bit. So, well, if we're constructing it, we don't care what the other links or the other angles are going to be. We could just use our ruler, and we could say, well, we have our line segment 4 centimeters long to that point, right? And, well, we know, oh no, I changed the size of my ruler, so I apologize. So the other thing we can do now is simply change our angle so it's upwards like this, move it over, and then I'm going to just simply measure 3 centimeters, make a point. That way, I can join these 2 points up for my triangle, and it should be 5 centimeters, right? So, typically, if they ask you something like this, it's going to just work out where you don't have to do the other point, and that should then be that 5 centimeters. Okay, so I'm just going to check, see what I got out of that. So let's check. So yeah, and that's 5 centimeters. So we know we've done it right, but we are missing a little bit of labels. So keep in mind that C and A, those are the ones that I would label first. Doesn't matter which way they go, but B has to be at our right angle. Okay, so there we go. We are done. Only thing else we could do is give some little labels of measures showing that, hey, we have understood this. Keeping our construction lines on there. Okay. Here are 2 practice problems for you. There's not much that you can be asked in this section because it's just construction 90-degree angle. So construct a right angle triangle after. If you wanted to ever extend yourself, you could create a rectangle with different sides and having side lengths, right? Because that would involve constructing 2 right angles, various points. Pause the video whenever you're ready. We'll go through the answers. Okay, so welcome back. First thing we're going to do for both these are we're going to draw some lines, right? So I need a line for that one, and I know I'm going to need a line for the bottom one. And then we have to have a point for each, right? So here, I'm going to put a point there. Here, I'll put a point there. Then, we're going to grab out our compass and extend it, okay? So we're placing it on our point. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I can best grab this. Okay, so we place it on our point, and now we want to have it hit 2 places on our line. So if it doesn't, make it a little bit bigger or smaller to best suit. Okay, so at this point, we've drawn that. Sorry. And now we want to make it a little bit, well, we want to make our radius bigger. We don't really care how much, right? As long as we keep it the same from this point out, or onwards, sorry. So at this point, keep in mind when you're doing this, if you want to make sure it can actually hit your page. So mine is actually a bit too big there. That should work out. there. I've got one arc. Switch it around to the other point and draw my other arc. Now I can take there and connect it with our line back down to our other existing line, and we have a right angle. So we can draw that in that's our right angle right there by drawing in our square mark. Okay, so first one done. Second one we're going to do now is construct a right angle triangle. So because we have no parameters on this, it's left very open, which sometimes can be good for some, not for others. So let's just start off by marking on this, putting it on our compass tip on our line, or on our point, drawing our marks there, putting our compass on another point, getting it a little bit bigger, drawing our arc the one way, placing it where the line and the arc intersects on the other. Even though mine was a bit off, I'm still going to use it because I do have the advantage of having those blue lines that I've used before. So here, draw over like that, and then we're going to connect simply that and our point down to our line. It goes through, and it snaps into place, so I actually know it's right angle. So good convention, draw in that little right angle to inform your reader. And now we can connect any point to create any right angle. So we could create that right angle, could create this right angle. So it doesn't really matter as long as we connect it to make a triangle.